Hey everybody, it's January 20th, 2021. 40 years ago today, I stayed home from school. I was 11 years old, and I said I didn't feel good. So they're like, okay. I, to be honest with you, I think I felt fine. Anyway, I was watching TV on our old Panasonic television set. And I realized that Ronald Reagan was going to be inaugurated. So I took this cassette, this very cassette, and I put it in this very Panasonic tape recorder. That just happened to be that they used a lot of Panasonic back in the day. Put it right in here and pressed record and put it right up to the television and recorded the event. When I became politically aware, I realized that Ronald Reagan, wasn't my cup of tea for some things. But here's some fun facts about Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan is a former Democrat, and he's also the only president who was ever the head of a union. He was head of the Screen Actors Guild. Spoke, very eloquently, and could debate and talk to people like Tip O'Neill, things like that. Just kind of like an Irish grandfather to me. Other than that, he just had different views on wealth, trickled down. I'm still waiting for the trickle. I think we all are, but it was in his administration that this really accelerated, and the rich got super rich, and the rest of us made cassette tapes. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm going to play it, because the tape recorder does not work anymore. Here we go. Boom.
What a tremendous backdrop for the playing of our national hymn, God of Our Fathers, as we were able to move around Washington and show you some of the monuments that so beautify this city and typify this country's history. Senator Hatfield again.
My fellow citizens, I now present the Chief Justice of the United States, the Honorable Warren Burger, who will administer the oath of office to the President-elect. Governor, are you prepared to take the constitutional oath?
I am.
If you place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me, I, Ronald Reagan, do solemnly swear.
I, Ronald Reagan, do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
And will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Now, I congratulate you, sir.
And the 21-gun salute roars out for President Reagan. His first day of duty. That's all there is to it. What a great story, what a tremendous thing it is, the passage of power, just because of a few spoken words that reflect, of course, the spoken word of the people. The former President Carter steps forward to shake hands with President Reagan and the new First Lady. The guns continue to roar. May they be only heard symbolically during his term.
fellow countrymen, the President of the United States. Thank you. Thank you. Senator Hatfield, Mr. Chief, Mr. President, Vice President Bush, Vice President Mondale, Senator Baker, Speaker O'Neill, Reverend Mumaw, and my fellow citizens. To a few of us here today, this is a solemn and most momentous occasion, and yet in the history of our nation it is a commonplace occurrence. The orderly transfer of authority as called for in the Constitution routinely takes place as it has for almost 2 centuries, and few of us stop to think how unique we really are. In the eyes of many in the world, this every 4-year ceremony we accept as normal is nothing less than a miracle. Mr. President, I want our fellow citizens to know how much you did to carry on this tradition. By your gracious cooperation in the transition process, you have shown a watching world that we are a united people, pledged to maintaining a political system which guarantees individual liberty to a greater degree than any other. And I thank you and your people for all your help in maintaining the continuity which is the bulwark of our republic. The business of our nation goes forward. These United States are confronted with an economic affliction of great proportions. We suffer from the longest and one of the worst sustained inflations in our national history. It distorts our economic decisions, penalizes thrift, and crushes the struggling young and the fixed income elderly alike. It threatens to shatter the lives of millions of our people. Idle industries have cast workers into unemployment, human misery, and personal indignity. Those who do work are denied a fair return for their labor by a tax system which penalizes successful achievement and keeps us from maintaining full productivity. But great as our tax burden is, it has not kept pace with public spending. For decades, we have piled deficit upon deficit, mortgaging our future and our children's future for the temporary convenience of the present. To continue this long trend is to guarantee tremendous social, cultural, political, and economic upheavals. You and I, as individuals, can, by borrowing, live beyond our means, but for only a limited period of time. Why then should we think that collectively, as a nation, we're not bound by that same limitation? We must act today in order to preserve tomorrow. And let there be no misunderstanding. We're going to begin to act beginning today. The economic ills we suffer have come upon us over several decades. They will not go away in days, weeks, or months, but they will go away. They will go away because we, as Americans, have the capacity now, as we've had in the past, to do whatever needs to be done to preserve this last and greatest bastion of freedom. In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem. From time to time, we've been tempted to believe that society has become too complex to be managed by self-rule, that government by an elite group is superior to government for, by, and of the people. Well, if no one among us is capable of governing himself,
then who among us has the capacity to govern someone else? All of us together, in and out of government, must bear the burden. The solutions we seek must be equitable, with no one group singled out to pay a higher price. We hear much of special interest groups. Well, our concern must be for a special interest group that has been too long neglected. It knows no sectional boundaries or ethnic and racial divisions, and it crosses political party lines. It is made up of men and women who raise our food, patrol our streets, man our mines and factories, teach our children, keep our homes, and heal us when we're sick. Professionals, industrialists, shopkeepers, clerks, cabbies, and truck drivers. They are, in short, we the people. This breed called Americans. Well, this administration's objective will be a healthy, vigorous, growing economy that provides equal opportunities for all Americans, with no barriers born of bigotry or discrimination. Putting America back to work means putting all Americans back to work. Ending inflation means freeing all Americans from the terror of runaway living costs. All must share in the productive work of this new beginning, and all must share in the bounty of a revived economy. With the idealism and fair play which are the core of our system and our strength, we can have a strong and prosperous America at peace with itself and the world. So as we begin, let us take inventory. We are a nation that has a government, not the other way around. And this makes us special among the nations of the earth. Our government has no power except that granted it by the people. It is time to check and reverse the growth of government, which shows signs of having grown beyond the consent of the governed. It is my intention to curb the size and influence of the federal establishment and to demand recognition of the distinction between the powers granted to the federal government and those reserved to the states or to the people. All